Hi, today's video we're going to be interviewing Connie Orbis with Fidelity National Title.
So stay tuned.
Hi there, thanks for checking us out. It is Beth.
And Shirley.
With Shirley's Real Estate Group, Giles Scott, and this is the
BS Real Estate Show. Beth and Shirley, that is. And we're here with more real estate news that matters to you.
Today's BS show, we're going to be interviewing Connie Orbis with Fidelity National Title, and she's going to explain what title is.
Should we go get her?
Let's go get her.
Let's go.
Hi there. Today we've got Connie Orbis with us from Fidelity, and this is going to be the first part of a two-part series, and today we're going to talk about title. And so I've got just a few questions that I jotted down.
Perfect.
And so what is title?
Title insurance is basically proving who owns the property. So for the seller, they want to make sure when they're selling their property, they're showing that they have proof that they have the right to convey the property. And then of course the buyer wants to make sure that when they're purchasing a home, they're getting a clear title to the property with no liens or judgments or anything that's going to be attached to the home, so they own it free and clear when they move in.
Okay, perfect. And so a listing broker typically orders title at the time that they take the listing, and so title's able to start clearing any issues that might come up. So why is title important?
Well, the title basically will pull, and they'll have what they call a chain of title, and they basically review everything that's transpired on that property and anything that comes up on that property, whether it's mortgages, the first and second mortgage, if there's a lien or a judgment, or if there is rights, say if you're on tribal land, or or if you have beach rights. It's going to give you a lot of those things, and it's going to be in different paragraphs is what they refer to them as. And that way the seller can review all those liens to the property to verify that they are liens that they acknowledge are theirs. And so for the seller, sometimes if they have a very common last name or a Johnson or something like that, oftentimes a lien will show up and they'll get frustrated. They'll see it on the title and they'll say it's not theirs. What title does is we request an ID affidavit, and most of the time we can clear things with a social security number, but on that ID affidavit they fill in information about previous addresses, where they lived, you know, their name, and so oftentimes we can clear liens or judgments or something that are not theirs, but we do need to have that information to clear those items. And then if you have somebody, you know, like Shirley, or a really solid listing agent, they're oftentimes going to get that seller questionnaire out to the seller ahead of time. Yep. And what that does is it allows the seller time to actually gather the information, like what their mortgage loan number is. Oftentimes today with the technology, everybody has the XXX and it shows the last 4 digits, and they'll turn that into us for clearing title once they get to escrow, and we need to have the full loan number. And so it's a great time for them because they're trying to move, so oftentimes they're boxing up everything, and this is a great time to have that information before they have everything in a box on the way to Idaho.
So after title is opened and examined, what is the process from there?
Basically, like I said, we're going to review all those items, and the thing that solid listing agents do is they review that title, and oftentimes if we can verify things within that title that might take a long time, and it's great if it's really clean and you have one mortgage, you've been paying your taxes on time and everything's great, but say you missed house payments, or you haven't been paying your taxes, or there's judgments or liens, or maybe you got a divorce, maybe you took title of the house as a married couple and now you're a single person. So if we can actually gather all that information up front, we can clear a lot of the items in title, so that when your listing agent puts your house on the market, if you have an offer that comes in, you know, within a week, we're ready to go and we can close as
That
fast
cash
as the
buyer.
buyer. Yeah.
That cash buyer everybody wants.
Yeah, but even then, you know, even if you're working with a buyer that has a loan, you're able to perform and make sure that you meet all those closing dates, and that's what everybody's goal is.
Absolutely. So it's not only the seller you clear title on, it's the buyer too, right?
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Well, what happens is once you get to escrow and you have that buyer involved, your escrow officer is going to be collaborating with the title unit, because the loan officer and whoever they're getting their mortgage through might have issues. They might have child support liens or car payments or debt, and so they're working with that loan officer too to see what things have to be cleared from title. So, and because they're getting a title policy as a buyer, the lender wants to know what their status is and that they're not a felon or anything crazy like that, but that's what they want to know up front.
Okay, perfect. And then so the last question I have for you is, how is title insurance different from other types of insurance?
Title insurance is that you only pay for it once. So it's not like auto insurance or homeowners insurance that you have a monthly payment that you have to always pay, or life insurance. So basically you're only paying for it at the time that the property is transferred. And then what that policy is it's covering you. So say something got missed on that title, a judgment or a lien or a mortgage. We've had it where a mortgage got missed and the title insurance company's on the hook for paying like a $250,000, $500,000 mortgage, and not, you know, the seller or the buyer. So you're paying for it at the time that you either purchase a house and you have a mortgage. Now if it's a buyer that they don't have it's paying all cash, then they don't have to have a title policy, and the seller just has to perform with a title policy showing that they can sell the home to them. But it's very important, and like I said, you only pay for it once. So even though everybody thinks that it's a little bit expensive, it's not that expensive if you think how much you pay for auto insurance or anything else over.
Exactly. And then protecting one of your biggest assets is
it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
And stay tuned for part 2.
Huge shout out to Connie over at Fidelity. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you guys got some useful tips and information.
And if you like the content that we're putting out, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and turn on the little
bell icon.
The little notification so you get our future videos. And if you have any ideas for future topics or have any questions, just reply below. And that's a wrap.
What a bunch of BS. See you next Tuesday.